G'day fellas, this is a build order breakdown of TheMista. Now for anybody unfamiliar with TheMista, he is one of the top Age of Mythology and Age of Empires online players that there is, and he's going to be playing the Rus for us today. This is a game that I played against him last night, so I was playing the Chinese. You can see that in the top left-hand corner, Aussie Drungo playing the Chinese. You've also got this rather obnoxious Tang dynasty in the middle of the screen as well. So we're going to be breaking down his build order, seeing exactly what it is he did to beat me in that game, because he did actually beat me quite convincingly. So we're going to be looking at it together, going through it. So just to start off, we can see already all of his villages on his sheep. He's got a hunting cabin that he's put on his tree line. It's the same tree line. He's putting a lumber camp down and a house down as well. Notice that he is making sure to keep all of these buildings away from his town center, the house as well. Often you'll see players put a house right here. He's not doing that. Now already down with the hunting cabin. Now one of the things to note with his early scout, his very first scout with the Rus, he is going straight out onto the map. He's not going around his base at all, because he's going to be backing up with his hunting cabin scouts and really making sure that he is covering the rest of the map with these scouts. You can see he's already got 2 queued up in there, 2 villages in queue still, so plenty of resources in here. He's got 2 villages on wood at the moment, and is going to be coming around the back of my base as well. We can reveal the fog of war so you can see exactly where he is in relation to me. That's me over there. G'day, g'day. But we'll take fog of war off now, just so that you can spot exactly what it is that he's up to. So this is his first game against an actual player. Most of the time, he told me he'd been playing against the AI and just practicing his build orders and what he thought would work, and snagging a couple of sheep around the back of my base, another one up here. But you can see he's out on the map. He's looking for Gaia. He's actually just gone past a wolf there. It can be a little bit difficult to micromanage, and now a single scout going to be coming out over onto this hunt, going to be doing a little bit of slaughtering. Do note that he hasn't actually taken his own hunt just yet. And when I say that, he hasn't sent anything out to go and kill this hunt just yet. I think at this point he's ideally going to be looking to bring these sheep back, but we'll keep an eye on what exactly he does. Now going to be dropping down a mining camp with his 11th or 12th villager, I think this is. We'll take a look here, 12th villager. And so he's got 9 villagers on food, 3 villagers going to have them out on wood now. So the 14th villager coming out to wood. So we'll take a look and see how he's doing up here. You can see collecting the gold here from taking out the Gaia hunts, and making sure he's actually not training any more scouts. So typically you do see some players go up to 4, 5, or even 6 scouts in the first age. He's not doing that. He's opting for a little bit of a safer build, but despite that, you can see he's still uncovered all the relevant resources on the map. If we reveal if we reveal the line of sight, you can see there's really nothing in the middle of the map to reveal. He has uncovered absolutely everything that's relevant. Now going to be able to age up just 1 villager on gold, and we'll take a look and see what he ages up with. Looks like he's going to be going up with the Kremlin, so this is a really good spot for his Kremlin, because you can see that there are trees right next to the Kremlin, so he's going to be able to buff this up in the late, or in the in the Feudal Age. Put down a lumber camp here that's going to give that 20% influence, and still 1 villager just on gold. And now killing these hunts. There's a couple more hunts back here. I don't think he's actually killed these ones off just yet, which is kind of interesting to note. Now, in this game, I was playing the Chinese, and apologies for hitting my microphone there. I didn't actually opt to go for any early secondary scouts. It was one of the thoughts that did cross my mind to try and compete with it, but I said, you know what, we're just going to go toe-to-toe and see if we can match his boom, because undoubtedly he's going to be looking to do a boom of some sort. Now, one of the things to note is that he doesn't need to build a mill, because he's already got a hunting cabin. The Rus can't actually make mills. They can only access the hunting cabin. And he's going to be looking to get the professional scouts technology. You can see that he is starting to build up his gold, approaching that all-important 275 gold, a very expensive tech in the early game, but only takes 1 minute and 15 to research. Compare that to, say, wheelbarrow, which is 1 minute 30, so a little bit shorter than those. And once again, doing a great job of just making sure he's got access to all of these Gaia, and being able to take them down. Now, keep in mind, with Rus, you've obviously got an early presence out on the map, because you've got more scouts than your opponent does. And as a consequence, if your opponent tries to do a fast expand, you're going to be able to deny that fast expand, because typically they're going to be looking to fast expand over onto these hunts. And now that I think about it, it actually makes perfect sense as to why he's come over to this hunt. And that's because he's killed this hunt nice and early, because he doesn't need to bring this back to his base. These hunts are already close to his base. So he's gone around in a little bit of a loop, and then finally finished on this hunt, and he's going to stay here because he knows that if a fast expand happens, which you can see those villagers now coming out, he's going to be able to kill these villagers off. I've finally got enough resources to do it, and I've going to have to walk back to my base because I know that I'm not going to be able to fast expand here, because not only is he going to be able to stand where I want to put my foundation, he's going to be killing my villagers. And so now we can see that technology is beginning to be researched. You can see it's got 45 seconds left remaining, and he is just, just applying ever so slight pressure to these villagers. Now, obviously, I'm playing the Chinese. Town centers are going to go up twice as fast as they normally would, but still, nonetheless, and you can actually hear, if you're careful, you can hear the chat messages that I'm saying to him, sort of just being upset at myself to go for a fast expand against the Rus. And even though there are only 3 scouts here, but it's more than enough to deny it. So keep in mind, each hunter's got 7 deer carcasses, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and if we reveal that, there should be a 7th. There's the 7th there. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So now he's going to have that technology coming in. We'll take a look at it. It's almost in. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and he's going to be picking up those deer. You can see he's on top of each one. 1, 2, 3 deer going to be getting picked up any second now. There we go, 2, and then 3, and now going to be moving back to his base. And at the same time, I'm going for a bit of a fast expand, a bit of a cheeky fast expand down here to the south. Now, behind this, he is collecting his own stone. He's got a lot of villagers that are on wood, and he's going to be dropping down a second TC as well. So despite all of this, despite this early, I wouldn't necessarily say aggression, but early presence out on the map, he is still able to go for this second town center behind. He's got a lot of information. He knows that by me wanting to put down that second town center, that he has got time. And so that enables him to see that, and enables him to subsequently to go for that second town center and know that he's not going to get punished for it with an early ram push or something like that. A couple villagers get pulled away, but at the end of the day, there's no real damage that gets done. What he does next is a very, very cheeky move. So he brings his scouts over here and he drops down his deer carcasses. Normally, you would be expecting the player to be running all the way back to their base with those deer carcasses. He just leaves them at this little spot here, outside the line of sight of my town center. My town center probably reaches to about here. We can go in and have a look and see, yeah, about here. And so he is going to be leaving those deer carcasses just there, and he's going to be coming in and stealing deer carcasses from underneath my nose. I garrison in my town center straight away. You can see he just runs away with the scout that's being focused down by the town center, manages to keep it alive, and he's going to be able to get out of there with 3 additional deer carcasses that he probably shouldn't have gotten away with. You can see I've already got military units out guarding these deer carcasses, but he has managed to steal right now 6 of my deer carcasses, and these guys add up 350 apiece on each of those, so that's 2,100 food that he's essentially got. Now behind this, we take a look and see exactly what he's up to. Now keep in mind, if you're wondering about the macro for this, you're going to be able to see in the bottom left hand corner what he's up to, and where his villages are being allocated. I'm sure if you paid enough attention, you'd be able to see what villages go to where at what timings. So now he's going for a stable behind this. Now, one of the things to note is the positioning of these stables. He's leaving a very nice ring around his town center so that he's going to be able to place farms down on this if he needs to. So if the game goes long enough, he's going to be able to place I think you can get 2 rows of farms in here just perfectly, and he should be able to do that for the entire ring around the town center. Now he heads back out over to these deer carcasses that I've spotted. And you can see that now I'm going to be able to bring my military units down, try and contest these. I see that 2 of the deer carcasses have gone. With my scout, I did spot those deer carcasses. But it's at this point where the build order really starts to sort of come into its own, because we can see how heavily he is on gold. So he hasn't spent any other form of gold in this game at this point. If we take a look at all of the upgrades that he's got, no wheelbarrow, no survival techniques, he's got the first level for his food upgrade. Other than that, there's nothing else in here that he's got access to. He's now getting the specialized pick. We'll take a look at the lumber camp. He's got the first lumber upgrade, but that is it. There's no wheelbarrow coming in for him. And I'm assuming that's because he probably thinks that he's not going to get much use out of a wheelbarrow. When you consider that the Rus are going to be bringing these deer quite literally to the town center. There's not a lot of movement in these villages, so that extra 5 carry capacity really doesn't make a lot of sense to have when your villages are right under the town center like this. when they're standing right next to the gold mine like this. You can see he's dropped down a second mining camp on the opposite side of the gold mine, and now going to be going up to the third age, just shy of 10 minutes. So dropping down a blacksmith and going to be putting down that landmark to age up to the third age very, very shortly, I suspect. And we'll take a look back over. There it is coming in now. It's the Abbey of the Trinity that he's gone up with. And you might be looking at his base and thinking, okay, well, he is very open. He is very, potentially very threatened because he doesn't have any military units out. And that might be true. But it's also important to remember he's got 4 military production buildings ready to go. If he needs to, at the drop of a hat, he can start training military units. And now that he's gone up to the third age, I suspect we're probably going to be seeing that coming out soon. More houses coming down on the front, just to sort of block in, prevent any pathing of rams to potentially come in, take out the Kremlin here. And now we can see that he is beginning to place houses again as a wall out the front. So really, really impressive base building here from TheMista. If there's one of the, you know, if I was going to describe TheMista, that would definitely be one of the things I would say. I would just be like base building. That is like, that's his forte. Incredible base builder. Really love his stuff. Like when you compare it to mine, like look at this. This is just disgusting. I've got like archery ranges just next to the town center, houses. It's like, I've got a lot to work on. Let's just say that much, okay? We'll take a look back over and spot. There's a little bit of a raid coming in here. Not a whole lot of, if I'm being honest with you guys, these are units that I forgot to pull back from my army. I was actually massing up quite a significant army, and I theorized that if I'd probably gone for a ram timing here, it might have actually been a pretty decent game. But do note, he is up to the third age. He's got plenty of infrastructure to make units at the drop of a hat if he needs to. And in addition to that, he's got access to the Kremlin as well as to wooden fortresses, which are going to be able to do a lot of defensive work compared to, you know, normal outposts. And now he's continuing to bring in these deers across the map. So you can see there's still plenty of deer out here, still a deer carcass down here to the south. Interesting to note that with 3 scouts, he's able to bring in 3 times 2, so 6. So he leaves 1 out there and he'll get back out to that eventually. But just, you know, he's focusing on his APM. He just wants to make sure he's getting high returns on his scouts. So he'll go out, pick these 3 up, bring them back, and then maybe he'll do one last trip. You know, 1 for this guy, 1 out for here, and then, you know, maybe send his scouts off to do something. But now that he's up into the third age, it's going to mean that he's able to move into his unit composition. So his unit composition that he's looking for here is horse archers combined with knights. So he's got his early knights here. He's going to be getting the upgrade for that one very shortly. And at the same time, we take a look. There it is, early knight upgrade coming in now. And the horse archers, incredibly strong units. Now, I believe these are actually age 3 units. I don't think these are age 2 units. So I think you can only access them once you've reached the castle age. And they are very strong, incredibly strong. They're like an archer, but with double attack. And they are also incredibly cheap as well. 80 food, 40 wood. Compare that, that's like double the cost of the camel archer. So incredibly cheap units, and very easy to begin massing up. And now we can see he's beginning to diversify his economy. Got a few more villages on berries, still bringing plenty of villages or plenty of food underneath his town center with these deer carcasses. We take a look at some of the other upgrades that he might be getting. We'll take a look. No, he's got the, looks like he's got the first tier of wood upgrades. Doesn't have the second tier of food upgrade coming through yet. Doesn't have the second tier coming through of mining. Does he have wheelbarrow yet? Let's have a look. Still no wheelbarrow at this point, so very interesting to note. Now he is replacing his mining camps as well on the front line. Sorry, lumber camps. So you can see this is his third one here. And he's just got a couple of villagers working back on this one. Keep in mind, this is a hunting cabin. You want to keep these alive for as long as possible. So ideally, you don't want to be mining these trees if you've got hunting cabins on them. You'll note that there are no hunting cabins on this forward mining, or on these forward lumber camps, because these lumber camps are being chopped. And so it wouldn't make sense to be putting it there because of the neutral, because of the passive gold that it generates. And now you can see he's beginning to push out, takes out a couple of my villages here. I think he ends up taking about 3 villages there. There should be 8 villages on a boar. So he's taken out 3 and beginning to put wooden fortresses across the map. Now, he's been rather unpunished in this game. I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't play it the best, and that's okay. Because we are not looking at this from a, an entertainment perspective. We're looking at this from a learning perspective. How is this build order working? How does it function? And I think at this point you can see it, reflected in the score that he's able to achieve quite a lot with his economy without even going into things like wheelbarrow. So really impressive play from TheMista. Great to see him playing Age of Empires 4, and I'm really enjoying his content so far. when it comes to, you know, all of the good stuff that he's putting out there when it comes to his builds. I'll leave a link in the description to TheMista's Twitch page, so if you'd like to see him live streaming, you can go check him out there. But we'll keep watching and seeing what he's up to. Now, do note that his food is beginning to run out, so now he's having to switch into farms. We see that in addition to having the 2 rings of farms around here, he's also got a hunting cabin, which is back here, which is going to actually be acting as a food deposit point. So he's really thought out this base building. I tell you what, absolutely impeccable stuff. I suspect he'll probably be deleting this one as well. Now we're going to have a bit of a fight happening over here. I'll show you guys for the entertainment. The micro wars begin to build. Archer Pike versus Archer Horse. And the archers move in, try and get some shots off on the back. Archers Pikes moving in to defend the archers. And we see his horse archers taking off the pikes. I'm trying to focus down his horse archers on the back line without losing too many pikes. I do have plenty of pikes here, so I'm not too fussed about it. And I decide, you know what, if we just go and run him down, he's going to be in a bit of a difficult spot. So that's exactly what we do. We do, of course, with the spears, not the pikes, rather, the spears, we do get a bonus against cavalry, and all of these units are cavalry. So as long as they're getting connections, they're going to be okay. A couple units looking to come back into the base and do a bit of damage, but not really picking up anything. Just a single villager taking, I think, 3 hits is what takes that villager down to 3 HP. I think it works out that they do 24 attack each hit. But we'll have a look at TheMista and see what upgrades he's got when it comes to his units. So we can see that already he's got +2 for his ranged attack. He's also got +1 armor for ranged. No melee upgrades just yet. And now starting to gather up some stone as well. So looking forward to seeing what he's going to be able to do with that. He's got 3 relics inside of his Abbey of the Trinity already. We take a look up towards, where are they? I'm looking, I'm doing my best to look. Actually, they're probably on sacred sites as they run across. But as you guys can see, this game is well and truly over at this point, and now beginning to upgrade his wooden fortresses on the front line. You can see that there are multiple wooden fortresses here. If we take off the line of sight, you can see just how much line of sight he's beginning to build. Looks like a village is actually going to be going down here when it does build this wooden fortress, so losing a little bit of, I guess, not having enough awareness to be able to take that one out. It can be a bit frustrating, these wolves, the way they work. But now another fight looking to break out. We're in the trees acting defensively, but he does push in. But you can see just how many units he's got now, really starting to outmass me. If we take a look at his village account, he's sitting up on 85. If we compare that over to my own village account, where are we over here? I'm only on 59 at this point. Now, obviously, I've lost a lot of villagers to raids, but still, he's, you know, much further ahead of me at this point. And now I realize that the game is definitely well and truly over. I don't think that there's anything I can really do to get back into this game. The game does continue on for a couple more minutes, but I hope you guys have enjoyed this breakdown of TheMista's Russ opening. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to call this, but I definitely think a Russ Fast Castle, you know, a Russ 2 TC opening, or Rus, I'm not sure if that's the correct pronunciation, but interesting to note he's still not getting the wheelbarrow upgrade for this. This is very long distance. Wheelbarrow would be really good here, so it might just be something he's forgotten to do. But a full cavalry army here from him. So even if you made full spears against this, you would still lose, just because of the horse archers. So the best combination against this, I really don't know. Maybe like full knights would potentially beat this. Maybe mangonels could potentially beat this on the back line. I think mangonels are going to be the right call against these horse archers. You can just see how much damage is being done to the town center. That wolf is attacking, and that's another villager as it moves up here to the north, but it looks like the villager is going to be actually able to stop it. But look, if you think that I've missed something, make sure you leave a comment down below. If you've enjoyed the video, make sure that you leave a like. And I will catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.